It's time to tailor our resume using AI. This section should go by pretty quickly because we've already done our baseline or kind of boilerplate template resume. So why should you tailor your resume? Well, one is the applicant tracking system, ATS. Remember, these things are the ones that parse out to see if you have matched all the requirements, but also from a human level, if you are not explicitly putting in exactly how you match to that job within your background, they may not be able to make the intellectual leap to figure out, oh, they've done all the same things. They just haven't named it the exact same way, or they haven't articulated it the exact same way. So you want to be the perfect fit, and we just need to make sure that we match in a perfect fit kind of way. In this course, I'm going to take you through three separate methods that allow you to tailor your resume. Each has pros and cons. Sometimes, some ways save a little bit of time, but cost a little bit more money in terms of tools and resources. But let's get into it. So, there's the AI Resume Builder software tool. We're going to use Teal. There's ChatGPT bots or custom GPTs. That requires a touch of manual adjustment. And then, of course, there's whatever LLM that you prefer plus manual adjustment, of course, using prompts and other things. Each way will work. So let's just quickly dive into these. Method one, I am going to use Teal. Teal has a freemium model, which means it is free to be able to create a simple resume. It becomes very frustrating to tailor it unless you are doing it automatically, which is a paid tier. So something to think about. I've included some resources here which are going to be able to show you the different tools at your disposal. Teal, again, is my favorite one, and the brief is linked here as well. So let's move on to the next one. Method two, ChatGPT bots, or custom GPTs, whatever we're calling them these days. This will require some manual adjustment, but basically you can search through ChatGPT in order to find tons of different options. A lot of people don't realize once you get the premium version, you get to see all of these ChatGPT bots that other people have created. It will require some manual adjustment because they do not format properly, which means you'll have to copy section by section into your resume. But overall, it does save you quite a bit of time and it's pretty easy to do. I've linked to a lot of the custom ChatGPT bots in here. Just for giggles, let's just take a quick look. The first one in the list, boop, down here is the one that we're going to use, but there are many. And while we're talking about it, I think it's just easier to show you exactly where to find them. You can go into Explore GPTs and you can type in resume, you can type in interview stuff, you can type in cover letters. And I tend to look through these things and figure out how many of them have either the highest rating or the most amount of engagement. So 5K, 200 plus, you get the idea. The last and final method that I'm going to cover is, I would say, the longest and most detailed one, but in the long run, this is probably the fastest because you're just adding in the training data from the standpoint of the job description, and it's automatically filling out these new resumes for you. So there's a little bit of upfront setup, but after that, there is no additional cost, and it's pretty powerful in my experience. So the only thing again that you're going to experience is the bad formatting, which means you will have to copy section by section because ChatGPT really just doesn't do sculpting of individual resume formats perfectly. Maybe by the time you watch this course, it's done and it's done a great job, but yeah, for the time being, the brief will be linked at the very bottom of the activities and we'll go through it either way. Just so we're on the same page, I have put in a crazy amount of resume resources. I've already covered this in earlier course material, but the idea is that yes, you have a ton of examples of great resumes that allow you to very quickly go through and see what good looks like from a high level standpoint of just first glance, and also potentially training the models to do a better job for you. There's also templates in here in case you want to use one of those to throw everything into, but there's a lot of good stuff in there, so I really encourage taking a look. And then, of course, I've already gone over this, but very briefly, lots of my own prompts. Lots of prompts from other people that have created them. I have not tested out these other prompts, so take them with a grain of salt. And then, of course, the bots that we've already covered, but lots of great stuff in here. I think the hard thing that most people come up against is like, oh, AI is so good. It's doing all this work for me. And it can also do my resume. And it's like, meh, The challenge with AI is if you do not prompt it properly, as in like enough training data from your own background, or your prompt sucks, or maybe the formatting and structure is just way off, then you're not going to get a good result. Sometimes you see a lot of these tools that are basically just ripping requirements directly out of the job description, and that's why people are like, "Hey, this is bullshit. You you didn't really tailor your resume. You just ripped out all the requirements and put them into your resume." So there's nuance there, and I do think that a lot of the manual stuff in method 2 and 3 are going to be really easy for you to see. Oh, this is delicate with the way that it parses out keywords and key phrases. Honestly, better prompts are going to give you a better output. If you remember back to that peanut butter and jelly example, if you sat in front of a bunch of kids and it's like, okay, somebody give me directions on how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Kids are like, well, take the bread, and you take the bread still in the plastic. Okay, now grab the peanut butter. You take a big scoop of peanut butter and you, with your hand, start smearing it on the outside of the plastic. Kids like, no, that's not right. It's the same exact thing. So when we get uber detailed to the utmost degree on what we expect out of the prompts, you are going to get a lot better output, especially within the bots, especially within your custom LLM version method 3. Cool. So I just think it's really important to really put this to bed in terms of the idea behind how AI is tailoring your resume. It's going through and taking specific elements out of the skills that are listed inside of the job description, which is why we're always either throwing over the job description URL or individual job descriptions, copy and paste the entire massive wall of text. It's also potentially tailoring the projects that are expected to view from that job description, the experience that you must have, and individual bullet points in terms of what you've done in your past history. This is why we're training it off of our own data. And ultimately, this is why we're using existing templates and prompts and the job ad to kind of blend everything together into something that really works, as opposed to just using the same boilerplate templates. Some real quick stuff in terms of statistics that I always think are somewhat useful to kind of keep at the top of your mind as to the relevance of tailoring your resume instead of using a standard template for everybody. Let's just dive into it real quick. The percent of recruiters that say they're more likely to hire a candidate who has tailored their resume to the specific job they're applying for, the percent of recruiters that like to get resumes personalized to the job position, and the percent of recruiters that say the biggest mistake job seekers make on their resumes is not tailoring the resume to their specific job. The results, not surprising. Everybody is in it for themselves. And of course, the recruiters are saying, this is what I like. I want you to do more work for me. 83% of recruiters say they want people to tailor their resume. 63% of recruiters say they like getting these personalized job tailored resumes. And then 55% of recruiters say the biggest mistake that you don't make is doing extra work for me. So either way, there's a clear indication that we should be tailoring our resumes, and I want to show you how, and we're going to do that really quick with 3 different activities. You don't have to watch each of them. If you decide you want to buy Teal, then great, that's method 1. If you have ChatGPT Premium and you want to continue to use that, there are a number of bots linked here in method 2. And for method 3, if you really just want to build these things in a non-ChatGPT format, or you want to have a little more control over the different prompts, then great, that is what method 3 is for. Let's dive into these and we'll knock them out. After this, it starts getting super fast paced and we'll go into lots of different things.